What's going on, Assassins? It's Darkstrider, and you know what? UbiSoft, again, they're going through a lot of internal reflection. I feel like they're doing a lot of things that they pretty much should have been doing since like the beginning, since they first started messing up with the Assassin's Creed games, and not just the Assassin's Creed games, but all the other IPs as well, because they're just, I don't know what direction they're trying to go into. So that brings us to the topic of this video. Apparently, Ubisoft CEO Yves, hopefully I'm saying that correctly, he put out a statement where he says that their goal is not to push any specific agenda. So he made a statement directly to the investors because they are very worried. They, fear there's a lot of mismanagement going on. The stock is very low. It's about $2 and change right now. They believe it should be around $40-50 a share, which, I mean, that's decent. But I honestly don't know. So he put out a statement, and basically this is what he said. This is a direct quote from him. Our second quarter performance fell short of our expectations, prompting us to address this swiftly and firmly with an even greater focus on a player-centric, gameplay-first approach and an unwavering commitment to the long-term value of our brands. Although the tangible benefits of the company's transformation are taking longer than anticipated to materialize, we keep on our strategy focusing on two key verticals: open world adventures and GaaS, native experiences, with the objective to drive growth, recurrence, and robust free cash flow generation in our business. In the light of recent challenges, we acknowledge the need for greater efficiency while delighting players. As a result, beyond the first important short-term actions undertaken, the Executive Committee, under the supervision of the Board of Directors, is launching a review aimed at further improving our execution, notably in this player-centric approach, and accelerating our strategic path towards a higher performing model to benefit of our stakeholders and shareholders. Finally, let me address some of the polarized comments around Ubisoft lately. I want to reaffirm that we are an entertainment-first company creating games for the broadcast possible audience, and our goal is not to push any specific agenda. We remain committed to creating games for fans and players that everyone can enjoy. Now, let's dissect that, because first of all, I want to preempt this by calling absolute bullshit, okay? That is not what's going on here, all right? First of all, you're in bed with Sweet Baby Inc. We know where all this is coming from. We know that you have to check certain boxes in order to get certain, I guess, credits amongst business or something. It's just really dumb the way that they do that. As I've said before, inclusion is very important. Diversity is very important. Where would we be if we did not have diversity or inclusion? We wouldn't have the foods that we have. We wouldn't have the ideas that we have. We wouldn't have, there's so many things that, are involved there. So yes, it is involved. I told you guys about that story with that little girl, and she was at a Disney theme park, and she couldn't speak. She could only communicate through sign language, and the Disney characters were able to communicate with her because they were also signing. That's inclusion. To me, that's beautiful. And inclusion really needs to be natural. You have to have a natural, progression into what's going on. A great example of that is in The Last of Us Part 2, Ellie and her friend Dina are out on a mission, and they go into a a Jewish temple, and Dina reveals that she's Jewish. And as they're walking around and you explore, she tells you certain things about her faith as they're looking at certain things. So now, to me, that was great because it was progression. It was something you didn't know about the character. It progressed, into like whatever. She's bisexual. Ellie is a lesbian. And you know that right off the bat in the beginning. However, they go into progression. And that's what made the story great. They progressed into it. It wasn't forced down your throat. It wasn't, bam, I'm Jewish and gay. Like it wasn't like that. So that kind of stuff is great when it's natural, when it's fluid, when it moves, when you're like, oh snap, okay, cool, no big deal, let me continue. That's not what they're doing. That is not what they're doing. They're forcing this stuff down your throat. They're forcing it in your face, and they're coming out with all kinds of nonsense, and they really need to get back on target of just making games with great stories and great action, things that keep your interest and make you want to play, make you want to stay. You play for like 2 hours and you're like, holy crap, I don't even know where those 2 hours went. That's great gameplay. So what he's talking about here in his first statement about the second quarter performance, they want a greater focus on player-centric gameplay, first approach, and unwavering commitment to long-term value of your brands. You're not doing that, bro. I don't know what you're doing. The fact that they want to make open world and, like multiplayer kind of games, multiplayer experiences, that's nice. I will admit that, like, if you really do explore their open worlds, there is a lot to see. There is a lot to explore. There's a lot of beauty, especially when they go, like, here's Odyssey. Greece is beautiful, I love that. Even Origins, mostly desert and still gorgeous. Gorgeous. But here, I just don't know what they're doing. It's crazy. So now they've got all these committees, these board of directors are launching reviews and things like that. And you know what? Is it too little, too late? Should they have already been doing this? And they're saying that they're not pushing a specific agenda, that they are an entertainment first company. You're not listening to your fans. How are you entertainment first when you are not listening to the consumer, to the fan, to the player, to the person that will either buy or not buy your products? A lot of people had a bad taste in their mouth after Valhalla and did not even bother with Mirage. And Mirage was pretty good. Now, after it's done, though, Mirage to me is kind of like a one and done. Like I'll play it here and there. I do the Durham resets, but there's no reason to turn it on every single day like there was with Valhalla, Odyssey, and Origins, where you go in, you do the daily challenges, you earn opal or whatever, and then you go and you get store items, premium items, for free. Mirage doesn't have that. So there's really no reason for me to play Mirage. Not that I need to have a goal of, like self-purpose where like I just want to be greedy and get everything I can, but it doesn't warrant turning on the game every day. I could do it once a week. I could do it, every once in a while. I could replay it from the beginning if I want to. But they have to do something. They have to figure something out with that game. But I digress.
You catch on fast.
I don't believe that they don't have an agenda, or I believe that they're starting to wake up and realize that You can't force inclusion or diversity. You have to let it happen naturally. And I think that part of their damage control is that they are taking this game, and Shadows that is, and they are removing certain elements that may be argued as too woke. Again, you know, the whole wokeness thing doesn't bother me. I believe that anything that people don't like, they call woke, especially since they can't describe what woke means. You know, I have an interpretation of it. Someone else may have a different interpretation of it. To me, it just woke means that you are alert as to what's really going on. You know, if you know that they're trying to rob you, you're woke. You're alert to how they're trying to rob you. If a game is trying to force a certain narrative down your throat, you're woke because you recognize that. You're alert. You're awake. You're not sleeping at the wheel and just letting this happen. And UbiSoft really needs to let off the gas and get this going.
I always finish what I've
But what do
started.
you think? Do you think that they're pushing an agenda? Do you think that they're trying to clean up the agenda and that's why we have this delay? I'd love to hear your thoughts. Other than that, I hope you enjoyed the video. Please make sure you like and subscribe. It helps this channel out an awful lot. As always, I want to thank each and every one of you for watching, and until next time, take care, be good, stay safe, take care of each other. I'll see you all in the next one.
Yeah, Yves!